Hello everyone, I hope everyone is doing good and taking good care of themselves. So today I'm going to talk about covert narcissistic parents. Yes, and they are not easy to spot. Like, as we know, the features of a narcissist is bragging and grandioseness, superiority. These things are there, and it's seen and it's observed, and they like flaunting, they like showing and expressing. But when it comes to these covert narcissistic people, and today I'm going to talk about covert narcissistic parent, they are, they never want to be into that radar of being observed or of being labeled. So their way of going about, I mean, these covert narcissistic parents, is that they are victimized, they are weak, they have suffered a lot, they have been dehumanized, brutalized. They have a lot of these stories to tell you. So they were miserable, they were weak, and they really don't show that grandioseness, though they do feel superior, they do feel entitled, they do want to control you, they do you know um, uh, fancy their needs to be met. They want you to do things for them. They want to control you, and they want to exploit you and abuse you and get whatever they want out of you, these covert narcissistic parents. But they don't want to look grand and become the center of attraction. They don't want to be easily identified. These coverts, there are two types: overts and coverts. With overt narcissistic parents, you can see from the way how they say, behave, and act. It's easily seen. But these covert narcissistic parents are extremely manipulative, and they have a different facade altogether, that, oh, I'm so weak, oh, I have been subjugated, I have been subjected to a lot of abuse, you don't know with what hardship I have raised you, you don't know what I have done for you, you would be never, you would never be able to do all that for your children, because it's only me who has endured. So whatever they have done, it's the side of the story is mostly suffering, pain. Yeah, so they guilt trip you, and that is how they establish control over you. When they keep you reminded of the sacrifices and of the pains that they have gone through and they have done to raise you as kids. So they want to keep on reminding you, so that you keep on doing, in hopes of making things even. It's a normal human behavior, that if I keep on telling you what pain I have gone through in a lot of melodramatic ways, if I keep on exploiting you emotionally, you would want to do things and put a full stop. You wouldn't want to keep on hearing it. Yeah, so this is one of the strategies of these covert narcissistic parents, that they'll keep on reminding their kids about the sacrifices they have done, and they'll keep on telling you that you won't ever be able to pay back what you have done for me. So the child overdoes it. The child goes to any limit and does things. So if you see these covert narcissistic parents, I mean, they don't have any best interest or good interest for their kids. They don't have it in their heart. And children are just like an extension, tools, basically tools to get what they want, tools to do what they want, tools to keep feeding them, tools to make them feel special, tools to keep validating them to their side of the story, that, oh, I have done so much for you. So the son or the daughter keeps on agreeing, yes mom, you had been a great mom, yes dad, you had been a great dad. I mean, every relationship, I mean, a healthy relationship doesn't have all these manipulations. Healthy relationship is all equal play. Yeah, when the mother, you know, did whatever best she could, whatever she went through, for the son would grow up and realize that yes, my mother has done enough, so the son would also do a lot. Yeah, the daughter will also do a lot. I mean, my dad, mom has done so much, I mean, I will be doing it for them as well, as per my capability. So that is what a healthy relationship, a parent child relationship should look like. But when it comes to these covert narcissistic parents, they keep on reminding you, they keep on feeding you with all these ideas that never forget what I have done for you, never ever forget. Yeah, so they keep on reminding you. Now, when you don't do what these covert narcissistic parent wants you to do, they are going to have some set of these statements that they are going to throw at you, I mean, to manipulate you and re-establish that control. The first one, what they are going to tell you is to re-establish that control. Once, if you have done something which they don't want you to do, mind it, they won't flare up at you, they won't be shouting at you, because they don't want to be traced out, they don't want to be labeled as a narcissistic parent. And they just want to be normal, usual, the victimized version of a poor innocent parent. They want that image. Yeah, so the statements that they're going to tell you is that, I mean, for whom have I done all this? I did all this for you, and do you think ever you would be able to do this much for me? I don't think so. So they are in a way keeping you reminded that I have done so much, I don't think you would be able to do this much for me. So as it is, you are being indirectly informed that there is a payback you have to do. To whatever level I have done for you, you have to do it for me as well. The next thing is that they are going to tell you, these covert narcissistic parents are going to tell you, oh, you are you are displeasing me, you are being dishonest with me, you are not listening to me, do you think ever you will be happy? You are never going to be happy by disobeying me, you are never going to be successful by disobeying me. If you hurt me, if you hurt my emotions, the emotions of father, mother, do you think success will come to you? No. Yeah, so these are the ways to make you feel more miserable and keep reinforcing their control over you. As it is, if your mind is messed up, how would you be successful? So these parents are into a lot of these dark psychological manipulation tactics, emotionally blackmailing you, gaslighting you. There is a lot of things, triangulation, this drama triangle. They are going to do a lot of things. Yeah, so they often say that, do you think by hurting the emotions of your mother you'll ever be successful? Do you think by by hurting the emotion of your father would you be ever be successful? These are the signs of covert narcissistic parent. Yeah, because they want you to do and please them. You don't have to do things for yourself or to please you. They they want you to do it for them, and they will be telling you what to do, what not to do. You don't have autonomy. So these covert narcissistic parents have every same feature that of a narcissistic person. It's just that it's more concealed, it's not on the surface, and it's more by playing victim. They prefer playing victim, weak, fragile, and all of us they play victim and fragile, and you won't even realize, but by playing their victimness again and again, they put you into the process of parentification. Yeah, where they want you to take up the role of another parent, and they want you to fulfill their needs, they want you to meet their needs and expectations, and they make you feel responsible I mean, like, they would come out, and say things like, you know, if father goes old, it's the son who has to do it. I mean, you are the eldest son, you have to do it all, you have to do everything. What your father couldn't do for the family, you have to do it. Why to keep on reminding? Prosperity, abundance, wealth, it all comes when you have a happy state of mind. If you have to keep on reminding, I don't think that's healthy. That's purely toxic. So these covert narcissistic parents will have these kind of, statements and arguments that, you are the eldest son, you have to do it, you have to do it, your father did enough, now it's your turn to do it for your siblings, you have to take up the role, you have to become the next father. And then there is a lot of this emotional incest that happens, and the kids are really spoiled, the kids are really messed up. These covert narcissistic parents place so much of this victimhood and act as a victim and helpless, that these kids are left with nothing. And they take up the role that, okay, fine, I'll make you feel better, but they are never able to make their parents feel better. Covert narcissistic parents never feel better or good. They go on feeling miserable, because that is how they are. They will forever be miserable, and you can do nothing, to please them and to improve their situation, because that is how they are. Nothing is going to please you, because these narcissists just see you as a servant, as a slave, as a pet, as a dog. Yeah, so for these narcissistic parents, you are just there to do what they want you to do, nothing else. Yeah, they brought you in this world, to get their work done. That's how they see, and that's the fact. No matter how much people fabricate and deny that, oh, no, 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 they have got some soft corner inside. No, they are absolutely materialistic people, and kids are like an extension of them. That's it. There is no autonomy. Kids are not individual beings. Kids are not respected, appreciated. Kids have to do what their parents want them to do. If the kids do something which their parents doesn't approve of, there are going to be a lot of lash outs. Lash outs will be that, oh, you're so worthless, how can I give birth to you? I mean, I really doubt if you are my kid, you're so opposite, you just don't listen to me, how can you do that? Yeah, so these kind of things are said and heard in when in a relationship with a covert narcissistic parent. And they wouldn't hesitate in comparing you also. They wouldn't hesitate in making you feel miserable by comparing you with others. They would be like, oh, look at their son, they have done so much. Luck has favored them. The son also took up the role so well. See, the son has become the next father in the family. So, this playing victim and forced parentification of children. And what is it? I mean, does children grow up to be a healthy individual? No, the children just grows up to be a slave to fulfill the needs of anyone and everyone. So these covert narcissistic parents are more parasitic. They will never leave you. They'll keep on putting up that miserable facade, and they are miserable, they are weak, they had horrible time in the beginning and they are still struggling. You can never fix anything. If for example they don't have for example, if you're not married and you have got a narcissistic parent and you are the only child, so and they are a little old, so for their convenience, I mean, you don't want to keep a help or a maid, so for their convenience you have gotten all the gadgets and everything. Robotic floor cleaners, dishwasher, washer dryer, everything, you have got it. Now that is to improve the quality, to help them do the chore. but they are not going to use it. They are not going to be happy using it. They'll be like, oh no, I really don't know. See, we don't know how to use technology. I mean, I can't manage it. It's too much. Yeah. So, they want, all the time they want someone to do their bidding. Yeah, they want someone to do things for them. They don't want to do anything for themselves. Yeah, and whatever they did for you, you have to be regularly reminded, and you will have to pay back with interest. And if you don't see there you never reach a point of being even with the covert narcissistic parents. You can never reach that point of being even, because they keep on, their list never ends. Yeah, so first is that, oh, we don't have a good house, so you get a house. Oh, your father couldn't marry off your sister, so you get into, getting your sister married. Yeah, so then, oh, you didn't get a car, so then you get into doing the car. The list, they have endless number of desires and needs, and you have to keep catering to all that. You don't have to cater your needs and desires. You have to cater their needs and desires. And if, god forbid, if ever you don't um fulfill their needs and desires, or if you say no, or be ready for all that emotional drama, in that emotional exploitation. That, do you know in what bad state you were? I was the one who, raised you. I was the one who did not eat and I raised you. I was the one who did not give up on you. So one thing, I would want to make it clear, that we don't get to choose our parents. We are born, right? We did not tell our parents to, have sex and have us. Yeah, they wanted and they have it. So it's, us coming into the world doesn't mean that we owe them. Yeah, I mean, like, we owe anything and everything to them. Yeah, if it's, I mean, in a ideal happy relationship, yes, what they have done for us, if we are capable, we'll also do it for them. That's absolutely okay, healthy, normal. But in this dysfunctionality, with all these toxicity, and especially with these covert narcissistic parents, you will be reminded every time what they have done, what they have not done. They will not let you forget. They will not let you forget, and you can never improve their condition, no matter how much you earn, no matter what you do for them. The list goes on, and there is, you don't get to a point where you are even with them. Yeah. It's a human tendency that we often, want to even out by, hearing every time, hey, I did so much and so much, so let me just do it and get it even. That's a human tendency. Even I would do that, even you would do that. But with them, there is no even point. It goes on and on and on. See, I really advocate and I really support healthy, parent and kid relationship. But where manipulation and abuse comes in, that is toxic, and we just cannot, paint it as being absolutely healthy. Yeah. I mean, there are good parents and there are bad parents, so we need to identify and talk about both. Yeah. And often what happens is that, in our Indian society, it's almost like it's very dogmatic. It's like a taboo, to talk ill about parents. Even if they are horrible, parents are said to be God. So it's a very different kind of or different way of looking at it out here. I mean, in Indian society, that no matter how toxic they are, no matter how abusive they are, they need to be considered as gods. And I don't know why and how does that come. So basically, that idea itself, considering any kind of a parent, an evil parent also, as a god and as a good parent, not calling them out, I think that is also narcissism. Yeah. So these covert narcissistic parents really hurt their children, really hurt their children's, self-esteem, confidence, growth. Everything gets, you know, um, they don't grow up healthy. They don't grow up as healthy individuals. They have a lot of problem. And kids of these covert narcissistic parents have a lot of these anxiety, depression, low self-esteem, low self-worth. And kids who have covert narcissistic parents tend to you know be involved in substance abuse as well. Yeah, they get into that as well. And it's extremely uh, it's unhealthy. It's unhealthy. And these parents are also unhealthy. So my advice is that if you're independent, draw a boundary, or stay away, because these parents, till the time they are alive, they will ruin you. And my heart goes out to those people who approach me, and trust me, they are living a miserable life. They are living a horrible life, painful life. I mean, hearing their stories, I even cry, that how much they have been used by their parents, how much they have been utilized by their parent and exploited by their parent. And they don't have anything to live. They are just serving the purpose for their parents. They are serving the needs of their parents, and they don't have anything of their own. So it's really bad. And also it is seen that these covert narcissistic parents, uh, you know they uh, they sabotage all their children's attempt to be independent. They never want their children to be absolutely separate and independent and all by himself or herself. These parents will sabotage all their attempts. They won't let their children ever be 100% emotionally, physically independent. They won't. They will either make you emotionally dependent, or they'll make you physically dependent. The dependency has to be there when there is a covert narcissistic parent. And that is only there by devaluing you. These covert narcissistic parents also devalue their children. They devalue them by constantly reminding them, I don't think what I've done for you, you would be able to do for me. I don't know how much I have sacrificed, the things that I have done, the pain that I have gone through, the level of sacrifices that I have made for you. I don't think you would be able to do that. You hardly have time. You hardly do things for me. I don't think you are going to. So they never appreciate. These covert narcissistic parents will never say thank you and sorry. Yeah, they are all the time playing victim. They are all the time poor, in misery. They are playing victim, and they have been subjected to a lot of abuse, and they are helpless beings, and you have to be a parent to them. That is, in simple terms, you have to be a parent to your parent. That's all. In return, they had been your parent, they'll keep on reminding you, and you have to be a parent in return as well. You don't have anything of your own, and you have to do what they want you to do. That's all. So yes, I have seen a lot of cases. I have seen that grandiose narcissistic parents also, in India. I've seen the cases of that grandiose narcissistic parent, then cases of malignant narcissistic parent. But most commonly, I have seen that this covert narcissistic parents are in majority. Yeah, everyone is victim. They have a sad story, and the entire list of expectation needs is given, handed over to the child. Yeah, now you have to do it. You have to become the next parent. When it's time for the kid to be a kid, learn, explore, and enjoy life, enjoy childhood, those things are confiscated from those children. Instead, they are given the roles. They are parentified. Such stories are narrated that the child, as it is, I mean, mostly the elder one, comes out and says, hey, now I'll be the parent, I'll take up the role, I'll help you. So this is such kind of manipulation that these parents do, that they tell you such a version of story that you yourself want to come out as a savior. And when you come out as a savior, it's the end. You are gone. Till the time they are alive, you have to keep serving them. I'm not saying don't do things for them, but have your own life, have your own individual life. Yeah, do things for your own self as well, do things for them as well. That is what a healthy family is. But there will be no individuality. You will have to be there and do things for them. That is how these covert narcissistic parents are. And also, when if their children, these covert narcissistic parents children, if they get married, these covert narcissistic parents will keep on blaming their children. Oh, you have changed a lot after you have got married. Oh, you hardly care about us. Oh, we have done so much for you, and look, just by getting married or in relationship, now you have even forgotten us. This is how life is. So they'll keep on doing this passive aggression, taunting you, yeah, indirectly teasing you and making you feel miserable, and keeping you reminded that don't forget, payback is there. Don't forget, if you have started your life, don't forget us. You have to keep doing things for us. And a children, as it is, does. It's absolutely normal. And I've seen majority of the children are like not hesitant in doing things for their parent. They all are okay, yeah, that let's do it. But this added drama, this facade, this emotional blackmail, this abuse, I mean, that is what takes the relationship and takes an individual onto a whole different toxic level when they are destroyed. Yeah. And also these covert narcissistic parents, they are very much into triangulation. Yeah. You used to listen, now see, your partner doesn't listen to me, your daughter-in-law doesn't listen to me, your husband doesn't listen to me. This is how they say. And even the other, our cousin was also saying, your uncle was also saying that what has your daughter-in-law done, what has your son-in-law done. So they get into a lot of triangulation, a lot of gaslighting. They'll keep on telling you, how would you have had survived if I would not have had taken care of you. Have you ever thought that? They'll keep on reminding you. I mean, come on, you had sex, you had me, so why do you have to keep reminding me what you have done for me? You have done for me because you had me, and it was your decision, and it was a role that you had to play. You were a caregiver, you were a parent. So I mean, why do I have to even visualize that, how life would have been if you would have had not taken care of me? There are a lot of people who have children and they abandon their children. There are a lot of cases where children are found in bushes, roadside, dumpsters. I mean, a lot of cases are there, where when parents have the children and they just abandon, they leave the child. So I mean, it's absolutely what the parents are wanting, they are doing. Yeah. We really can't say or do much about it, because they wanted to have it, they had the child, now they don't want to keep it, so they don't keep it. Yeah, it's absolutely an individual business. So in a relationship, it becomes very toxic when you keep on reminding that I have done so much for you. Have you ever visualized, if I would not have had done, how life would have been? Why do I have to visualize that? So these are a lot of these dark, insidious ways that these covert narcissistic parents control you and manipulate you, and just make you do what they want you to do. So yes, this was about covert narcissistic parent. And before I conclude, there is one more thing. Covert narcissistic parents, I mean, if one of them, generally it's seen that there is only one of them. Mostly mothers are covert narcissistic mothers, and fathers also there, but the ratio, I mean, mothers are a little more covert narcissistic compared to fathers. Yeah, I mean, there is just 1 or 2% more. so mothers are more, it's seen. And the parent who is covert narcissistic, they will keep on comparing their partner also. I mean, the husband or the wife, this covert narcissistic parent is going to compare the other parent with other, other people, that, oh, see, they have done so much, what have you done? See, I have done so much, I gave birth to your children, see, I have done so much for you, and what have you done in return? You can't even give me a big mansion, you can't give me a Rolls Royce, you can't give me that and that. So they keep on comparing their partner, and the same thing they do with their children also. But with their children, these covert narcissistic parents, they don't want to have the title of a bad parent, they don't want to have the title of an evil parent. So it's an indirect way, yeah, emotional abuse, triangulation, drama triangle, all these things are, gaslighting, playing victim. I'm so miserable, see what happened, nobody takes care of me, nobody does things for me, nobody listens to me, your father doesn't listen to me. So the child then decides that I'll become the next father. Yeah, and then the moment the child gets into parentification, he's done. I have seen people spoiling the life, literally spoiling their own personal life, professional life, everything, by getting into parentification, and it's horrible. So yes, these covert narcissistic parents also force their children into parentification. They manipulate their children to take up the role as a parent, to act and be responsible as a parent, and to meet the needs of the others. So yes, this was a little bit, I mean, I can go on, there are so many things to talk about, but yes, this was just a little sum up, and this was just a little bit of information about covert narcissistic parents. And they are damaging as well, and they don't have any best interest for their kids. No matter how much they say, no matter how much people say, action speaks louder than words. If they are manipulating, if they are emotionally abusing, I don't think that is the sign of having good interest for the children at heart. Yeah, so this was all about covert narcissistic parent. In case if you would want to add in, you can always comment below. Please like, share, subscribe the channel, and say no to toxicity. And in case things are not manageable, seek a therapist and talk about your problems. Yeah, please take care of yourself. Lots of love and blessings to all of you. Bye.